Okay, welcome to the demonstration of the ROI Scheduled Process Executor. Um, it's essentially a tool that allows you to run server logic um, on a schedule defined by the system agent. So you may, for instance, want to create or store sales order release information against sales categories, the number of releases, or the number of conversions from quotes to sales orders by territory, customer ID, and that sort of thing for business intelligence and reporting against the schedule out of hours, and another thing that you can do is also business process automation. So, for instance, you can have a process that would run again out of hours that would possibly create an AR invoice group and an AR invoice with the appropriate lines for everything that's been shipped that day. And then obviously in the morning when the AR clerk gets to work, he or she will have a list of print the edit list, check, and then all they've got to do is post it. So it's an easy button, really. For business process automation, business intelligence reporting, and in fact, operational process reporting. So, how does it work? Well, essentially, we have scheduled process maintenance, and this allows us to define the number or of processes that we want to run. So in this case, I've got 3 processes that I want to run. And to show you an example of how they work, essentially, process ID number 3 is a business object update, in which case we define it as a business object update and you use that type of BPM to write your server logic. And then directive number 1 and directive number 2 are data directives. So they are, we've got a decision tree in the data directive element for these 2 actions to run various processes. So to look at that more closely, if I go to data directives, I've got a group there that I've created. And it's all down to what you really want to do, whether it's, you've got different options available to you in data directives than you have in method directives. And also bear in mind that you can do all the sort of good stuff like, export into DLLs, using Visual Studio for debugging and all that sort of good stuff as well, because it comes part and parcel of the BPM engine. Simple. So in this case, I've done a standard data directive. Bearing in mind, in transaction data directive, you can modify the data for a history database. So we don't want to do that. We just want a condition. So we check to see, which of these processes are we running from scheduled process maintenance, directive number 1 or directive number 2. So we see here, directive number 1 is true. Then we go and execute this code block here, which is essentially just writing a text file, bpm1.txt. Condition number 2, is it number 2? Then we're writing another text file, which is bpm2.txt on the data directive. Okay. And then on the method directives, again, easily, specify a method directive or a data directive to execute, and then you put all your server logic in there. In this case, I've got a pre-processing. And the first thing I'm saying with the business object is the row dirty. So we want to trigger this action that we've scheduled, and we haven't scheduled it yet. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. It's a standard schedule process from Epicor, very, very easy, but I'll take you through that in a moment. So, excuse me. So the condition is to say the true expression for the trigger kicks off the process. Now we determine which one of these processes we're running. In this case, we're saying we're going to execute process number 3, and that is going to output very much like the data directives, just a text file with some text in there. So essentially, it's a decision tree for your server logic via BPM, and that allows you to essentially, in schedule process executor, tell the system which one of these directives you want to use, and then put it on the schedule. So in this case, I can put every 5 minutes for data directive number 1. I'll show you that in a minute. Directive number 2, we can execute instantly. And we can see in this directory, right, if I delete all the files in there, let's go back. And then execute that again directly. You can see it was complete there in the system agent. Restore the agent. Again, I pressed it twice, but it's complete successfully. History tasks, it's output there. We've got the scheduled task on the 5-minute process there in a moment. So we can see BPM 2 has been fired instantly. Data directive 2. And we can do that on the method directive as well. BO update right instantly. And we can also put it on the every 5 minute. And bearing in mind that can be recurring as well. So we can submit that. So in our directory, first of all, because we executed it directly, we've got the file there. And also you will see it attached to the scheduled tasks in your system monitor. So if we go to our system agent, we can see under schedules every 5, which I've called it. Oops, sorry, excuse me. The schedule is an interval schedule every 5 minutes, and it's recurring as I defined it. And within that, as I said, you can do anything you want. You've got database context, session variables, all that sort of good stuff to allow you to perform whatever you need to within Epicor. So if you want to learn more about the application, or indeed purchase it, then by all means send us a notification of your interest. Feel free to email us at info@roiconsole.co.uk or visit the website and give us a call directly. Great. Speak to you soon. Cheers. Bye.